everyone, a very warm welcome. You're watching Parliament This Week, your weekly roundup of all important developments in Parliament. I'm Kriti Mishra, and now let's begin the show. On the request of several MPs, both houses of Parliament resumed their usual functioning from Tuesday, with proceedings beginning at 11 a.m. Both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha were operating under curtailed hours of timing and social distancing norms amid the COVID-19 induced norms. Parliament passed the Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Bill 2021, with the upper house passing it on Wednesday. The bill, already passed by the Lok Sabha, seeks to ensure that stakeholder parties can seek an unconditional stay on enforcement of arbitral awards in cases where the arbitration agreement or contract is induced by fraud or corruption. The bill replaces an ordinance promulgated in November last year. Here are the details.
The Upper House on Wednesday passed the Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Bill 2021 with a voice vote.
I think the ayes have it, the bill is passed.
Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said the bill seeks to check fly-by-night operators who take advantage of the law to get a favourable award by fraud. It also seeks to make India a hub of international commercial arbitration.
तो पहले तो करप्शन से एग्रीमेंट करो, करप्शन से नेचुरल रिसोर्स लो. उस समय की सरकार कुछ काम करती नहीं है. हमारी सरकार आई, सारी गड़बड़ी पकड़ी, आज इंक्वायरी हो रही है. अब वो क्या कर रहे हैं कि हमको पूरा पैसा भी दो और एक इन्वेस्टर अमेरिका में, एक इन्वेस्टर बाकी जगह. सर, द लार्जर क्वेश्चन टू बी कंसिडर्ड इज क्या भारत के टैक्स पेयर का पैसा जाएगा ना उनके अवार्ड में, ना उनका या किसी का नहीं जाएगा. वो कार्रवाई करते नहीं है. हम कानून से भारत के आर्बिट्रेशन के इकोसिस्टम को मजबूत कर रहे हैं, ईमानदार कर रहे हैं. उनको परेशानी हो रही है और हम चाहते हैं वो परेशान हो, क्योंकि नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार ईमानदारी से चलेगी. इसीलिए सर हम लोगों ने ये कानून करने की कोशिश की है.
Participating in the debate, BJP's Mahesh Podar said that the bill reflects the government's commitment for transparent mechanisms in every sphere of governance.
महोदय, हमें यह नहीं भूलना चाहिए कि हमारी भारतीय कानून व्यवस्था का एक दूसरा प्रावधान है कि चाहे 100 मुजरिम छूट जाए, लेकिन एक गैर मुजरिम को सजा नहीं मिलनी चाहिए. और इस भावना के साथ में जब प्रधानमंत्री जी ने चौकीदारी की बात करते हैं, तो वो चौकीदारी जहाँ जो बेईमानी हो रही थी उसको रोकने के लिए प्रावधान किए गए हैं और कड़े प्रावधान किए जाएंगे. मैं इस बिल का पूरी तरह समर्थन करता हूँ.
Members also sought clarification from the minister on certain provisions of the bill.
Under section 34(2)(a) of the act, which has to be read with section 36, it states that an award shall not be set aside merely on the ground of an erroneous application of the law or by reappreciation of evidence. So the question of reappreciation of evidence is not provided for in section 34. It is not an appeal provision. But how is it possible that a prima facie case can be made out without first providing for it in section 34?
In case of fraud, if there is a coercion or there is an undue influence or there is a corruption, definitely the court is having absolute authority to grant stay of the operation of such awards for the reasons to be recorded in writing. What else is required to have a stay? Grant of stay is purely within the discretion of the Honorable Court.
Arbitral awards where the underlying arbitration agreement or making of the arbitral award is induced by fraud or corruption. The amendment also aims to promote India as a hub of international commercial arbitration.
The bill seeks to amend the Arbitration and Conciliation Act of 1996 so as to enable automatic stay on awards in certain cases and specify regulations for the qualifications, experience and norms for accreditation of arbitrators. Arbitration is an alternative dispute resolution procedure in which a dispute is submitted by agreement of the parties to one or more arbitrators who make a binding decision on the dispute. Conciliation is also an alternative dispute resolution instrument where parties seek to reach an amicable dispute settlement with the assistance of the conciliator who acts as a neutral third party. Kriti Mishra's report for Sansad TV.
And Parliament also passed the National Capital Territory of Delhi Law's Special Provisions Second Amendment Bill 2021 to regularize unauthorized colonies in Delhi, with the Lok Sabha passing it on Wednesday. The Upper House passed this bill in the first part of the ongoing budget session of Parliament.
The Parliament on Wednesday passed the National Capital Territory of Delhi Law's Special Provisions Second Amendment Bill 2021 to regularize unauthorized colonies in Delhi. The Rajya Sabha had passed the bill on the 9th of February. While replying to a debate on the bill, Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri told the Lok Sabha that the bill would give protection to unauthorized colonies from sealing till the 31st of December 2023. He said the history of the problem of unauthorized colonies in the National Capital Territory of Delhi was long pending. No government took up this issue with any degree of seriousness. There are around 1,700 unauthorized colonies in Delhi.
So when it became obvious to me and to my ministry that in 2019 they wanted another 2 years, it became clear that the criminal neglect between 2006 and 14 was now being compounded. That is when we brought this law in 2017, and we would have completed the work of unauthorized colonies had it not been for the pandemic. So I commend this bill for adoption by this House so that protection from sealing, etc. will be available till 31st December 2023.
Chairman Venkaiah Naidu lauded the achievements of women on the occasion of International Women's Day, calling it a day to celebrate and honour the untiring commitment and determination of women of India and throughout the world to achieve equality, justice and economic development. On the occasion of the International Women's Day, women members underscored the need for greater representation in the legislative process. Take a look.
We need to strive for realization of the values and principles enshrined in our Constitution, which provides for equality of status and opportunity and enjoins upon every citizen to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of woman. Our nation as a whole cannot progress and rise to full potential if one half of it is restricted in making new contributions. So let us resolve on this occasion to remove all barriers, psychological, socio-cultural, economic and political, that deny women their due. We need to ensure an environment that allows women express them to their full potential in the form of both words and deeds. On behalf of all members and on my own behalf, I place on record the appreciation of the services rendered by the women members of this House and also the women citizens of the country for the development and prosperity of the nation, and I wish more strength and power to them in the future also.
अगर मैं छत्तीसगढ़ की बात करूं तो तीजन बाई जो एक अनपढ़ महिला थी, तीजन बाई से लेकर कल्पना चावला जो आसमान में रही, धरती से लेकर आसमान तक महिलाओं ने सर्वत्र अपना जौहर दिखाया है। चाहे आज के समय में चाहे फाइटर लड़ाकू विमान चलाने की बात हो, बस उनको अवसर मिलने की आवश्यकता है। जब राजीव जी प्रधानमंत्री थे तो उन्होंने महिला आरक्षण पंचायती राज में और नगरीय निकाय में लाके महिलाओं को अवसर दिया। सर, आज महिलाएं सभी जगह सशक्त हैं। मैं चाहती हूं सदन के माध्यम से आज विशेष दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में कि विधानसभा और लोकसभा और राज्यसभा में भी महिलाओं को आरक्षण मिले।
मुझे वो दिन भी याद है जिसमें हमारे 3 तलाक का मुद्दा था। इस सदन में लोगों ने जिन विषयों को रखा, 3 तलाक, जो लोग पीड़ित थे उस बहन से पूछिए 3 तलाक शब्द से वो कितनी भयभीत होती थी, और राजनीति के तुष्टीकरण के कारण, तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति ने हर बार उनको मरने के लिए मजबूर किया। 3 तलाक का मुद्दा आज ऐसा मुद्दा रहा कि इस सरकार ने, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ताकत के साथ में शुरुआत करी।
आधे से अधिक हूं पर अधिकार से वंचित हूं। तो ये जो सारे क्षेत्रों में बराबरी की बात हो रही है, जहां पॉलिसी नीतियां गढ़ी जाती हैं, वहां पर अभी तक हम लोग इस कंक्लूजन पे नहीं पहुंचे हैं कि कितना प्रतिशत स्त्रियों का होना चाहिए। सर, ये कौन अधिकार देता है, ये मैं पूछना चाहती हूं। तो आधे से अधिक हूं पर अधिकार से अभी तक वंचित हूं, इस पे विचार किया जाए।
हमने 24 साल पहले ये शुरुआत की थी पार्लियामेंट से कि हम 33% रिजर्वेशन लाएंगे महिलाओं के लिए। मैं मानती हूँ 24 साल के बाद हमें ये जो आंकड़ा है 50% कर देना चाहिए। जब हम 50% आबादी हैं तो 50% हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेशन क्यों ना हो, पार्लियामेंट में हो या असेंबली में क्यों ना हो।
ये राजनीतिक के रूप में घर से बाहर निकलती है तो उसको भी बखूबी निभाने का काम करती है, लेकिन फिर भी ना जाने क्यों हमारा समाज महिलाओं को वो सम्मान नहीं देना चाहती है जिसकी वो हकदार है। इस देश की राष्ट्रपति, इस देश की प्रधानमंत्री, यहाँ तक कि लोकसभा अध्यक्ष भी महिला रह चुकी हैं, लेकिन आज कहीं ना कहीं हमारा अधिकार और हक हमसे दूर है।
आज जो दिन है इसमें हम लोग ये भी शपथ करें, ये भी संकल्प लो, जो लॉ क्या बना रहे, बिल क्या पास हो रहे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जजमेंट क्या दे रहे, उसके बाद महिला को आगे बढ़ने के लिए ये जजमेंट आ रहे, ये बिल आ रहे महिला को आगे जाने के लिए। ऐसा हम लोग संकल्प ले आज वुमेन्स डे में, जो हम लोग इसको मिसयूज नहीं करेंगे। लेकिन देश को भी एक संकल्प लेना होगा, जैसे हम लोग पोलियो मुक्त दिन सोचते हैं, ऐसे धर्षण मुक्त भारत चाहिए, ऐसे हम लोग को दहेज मुक्त भारत चाहिए।
ये सदन में 2014 में जब से ये सरकार आई है तब से इस पे काम किया गया है, भ्रूण हत्या पे रोक लाई गई है, ये मिनिस्ट्री ने इस पे काम शुरू किया है, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ। बहुत सारी ऐसी लड़कियां हैं जिनको गर्भ में ही हम समाप्त कर देते हैं। आज भी ऐसी सोच के विचार के लोग इस भारत देश में रहते हैं कि जिनको लड़कियों के आने से दुख और बोझ समझता है। ऐसे ही हमारे आदरणीय शरद पवार साहब, जिन्होंने महाराष्ट्र में एक सबसे बड़ा उदाहरण अपने द्वारा दिया है कि उन्होंने एक बेटी के ऊपर संतुष्ट मानते हुए पूरे देश में पॉलिटिकली लोगों को एक संदेश, सामाजिक संदेश दिया है। ऐसे हमारे आदरणीय पवार साहब।
And complimenting Mallikarjun Kharge on becoming the new leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu expressed confidence that the vast and diverse experience of Kharge will benefit the House significantly.
Sri Kharge ji has been a legislator since 1972 and having been elected a record 9 times successively to the Karnataka Legislative Assembly and has been a member of Lok Sabha twice during 2009-19. He has the distinction of being the leader of the opposition on his first election to the Rajya Sabha. The leader of the opposition has a major role in enabling the smooth functioning of the House as per the rules of procedure and convention of the House. I am confident that this august House will benefit significantly from the rich and diverse experience of Sri Kharge ji, who has witnessed the functioning of the legislature in the state and centre, both from right and left side of the chair.
And moving on, 3 new members of the Rajya Sabha took oath on Monday, the first day of the second half of the budget session of Parliament. BJP's Dinesh Chandra and Rambhai Mukaria and Biswajit Demre were administered oaths.
The 3 members were elected during the by-poll necessitated after the resignation and demise of members. BJP's Dinesh Chandra Anvaria and Rambhai Mukaria and Biswajit Demre were administered the oath. Dinesh Chandra Jamalbhai Anvaria and Rambhai Harishbhai Mukaria were elected from Gujarat. The seats fell vacant following the demise of Congress MP Ahmed Patel and BJP MP Abhay Bharadwaj. Biswajit Demre was elected from Assam as a BJP member after he resigned from the BPF.
And moving on, an orientation program for the newly elected and nominated members of Rajya Sabha was inaugurated by Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu on Saturday. The orientation program has been devised to provide an opportunity to new members to discuss and appreciate various aspects of parliamentary practice and procedures with special reference to the Rajya Sabha and to familiarize them with parliamentary institutions. Here's a detailed report.
Chairman Naidu urged the newly elected members of the House to uphold rules and procedures of the House while discharging their duties as the lawmaker for the country. He also urged the newly elected not to fall prey to the temptation of disrupting the proceedings of the House and instead to be conscious of their noble responsibility towards enhancing the standing of the apex legislature in public esteem.
For you to succeed in this noble assignment, you need to perform well as a lawmaker in raising the matters of public importance from time to time in the House, seeking solutions as appropriate, making quality contributions to the debates in the House, and in ensuring the accountability of the executive to the Parliament. These correspond to the legislative, representative, deliberative, and oversight functions of the legislature. For any public servant or other functionary to effectively discharge their functions, proper understanding of the functional domain, the rules and regulations governing the work environment, and more importantly, right attitude and orientation are very important.
Chairman Naidu suggested to the first-time members of Rajya Sabha to enhance their knowledge about the history and contribution and rules of the House.
राजनीतिक जीवन में, जनजीवन में ये अभिविन्यास माने ओरिएंटेशन बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, क्योंकि हम जब सदस्य बने इस सभा का, वो सभा का विधि विधान क्या है, नियम क्या है, इसका पुराना इतिहास क्या है और इसमें कौन कौन रहा है, उन्होंने कैसा व्यवहार किया है, और आजकल वर्तमान में जो हो रहे इसके संदर्भ में सदन में हम कैसा व्यवहार करना, हमारा आचरण कैसा होना चाहिए, इसके लिए पहले थोड़ा विषय परिज्ञान, knowledge is very much important. So that's why this orientation program has been organized.
Senior Congress leader and Rajya Sabha member Anand Sharma highlighted the role on the upper house in India's democratic structure.
Another important thing about Rajya Sabha, the Council of States, is that this is a permanent house, like the American Senate, with the one-third of the members retiring every 2 years. It gives an advantage to the country. Imagine if the Lok Sabha is resolved, country is in the election mode, and suddenly there is a national emergency. There is need for Parliament to discuss something or maybe to urgently adopt some legislation. Is the Council of States then, which is a permanent chamber, which can meet in any situation, which is always available, and whatever it decides after the general elections will be taken up by the elected House of the People, that is the Lok Sabha.
Rajya Sabha Secretary General apprised the participating members that the orientation program will consist of sessions on specific topics conducted by eminent parliamentarians and gave a detailed overview of the Rajya Sabha Secretariat.
We have the different services, which is one is the LAFIA, which is Legislative, Financial, Executive and Administrative Service. These are basically the services which are in contact with you, and these are the people who are behind the administration in the Secretariat. Then we have the largest service, which I just now mentioned, the Library, Reference, Research, Documentation and Information Services. We have the verbatim reporting services, which is do the reporting, the new initiatives that have been taken. As you are aware that we have been moving very fast towards the digitization, not only the country, not only the private sector, the government, but also the Parliament, and several provisions have been made for members to interact with the Parliament, submit their demands, submit their notices through an e-portal. So there are provision of e-notice.
The orientation program will enable the new members to discharge their duties effectively and also to contribute meaningfully to the proceedings of the House. Kriti Mishra's report for Sansad TV.
So that's all we had for you in this edition of Parliament this week. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.